Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into a career path that often flies under the radar, but is so crucial to the world of animal care.
That's right. We're talking about veterinary receptionists.
Now, I know what you might be thinking, veterinary receptionist. Isn't that like answering phones and scheduling appointments?
Well, yeah, there's definitely some of that.
Okay, so it's more than just that.
Oh, absolutely. Way more. It's a much more dynamic role than most people realize.
Really? Tell me more. I'm intrigued.
Think of it this way. They're the heart of the whole veterinary practice.
The heart, huh?
Yeah, they're juggling a ton of responsibilities, from client interaction to administrative tasks to even needing a good understanding of animal care.
Wow, that sounds like a handful. Where do we even begin? What does a typical day even look like for a veterinary receptionist?
Well, our source material gave us a fascinating look into their world, and let me tell you, no 2 days are the same.
Okay, so walk me through it. What's involved?
So picture this, you're the first point of contact for every worried pet parent who walks through the door.
Okay, so you're dealing with people who are stressed and anxious about their furry family members.
Exactly. You've got to be compassionate and reassuring, all while juggling phone calls, scheduling appointments.
Oh, and I bet there's a lot of paperwork involved too, right?
You're not wrong. There are medical records to manage, billing to handle, and let's not forget about dealing with insurance companies.
Oh, I can only imagine. So you need to be super organized and on top of things.
Absolutely, but it's not just about paperwork and organization.
What else is there?
Veterinary receptionists also play a key role in educating clients about pet health, nutrition, even things like behavior and training.
Wow, so they really need to be a jack of all trades when it comes to animal care. It's like being a walking encyclopedia of pet knowledge.
That's a great way to put it. They're a crucial link between the veterinarian and the pet owner, making sure everyone is informed and comfortable.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm curious, what are some of the challenges that veterinary receptionists face?
Well, you touched on one earlier, dealing with emotional pet parents. Not every visit is going to be a happy one.
Yeah, sadly, sometimes it's about saying goodbye to a beloved pet. That must be incredibly tough.
It definitely takes a special kind of person to handle those difficult situations with compassion and grace. And then there's the fast-paced environment dealing with different personalities.
Oh, and let's not forget about the occasional, shall we say, accident that can happen when you're dealing with animals.
Exactly. You need a strong stomach and a good sense of humor in this job. But on a more serious note, our source material really emphasized the importance of communication skills for veterinary receptionists.
Oh, I bet. You're constantly interacting with people, clients, vets, other staff members.
Precisely. You're explaining medical procedures, calming down anxious owners, relaying important information to the veterinary team. Strong communication is key.
It's like being the voice of the clinic, making sure everyone is on the same page. That's a huge responsibility.
It is. And speaking of responsibility, one area that's becoming increasingly important for veterinary receptionists is,
Let me guess. Technology.
you got it.
Technology.
Okay.
So we're not just talking about answering phones and scheduling appointments anymore.
Not at all. Think electronic medical records, digital imaging, even telemedicine is being used in some practices now.
Wow, it's amazing how technology is transforming every industry, even veterinary care. But that also means veterinary receptionists need to be pretty tech savvy these days.
Exactly. They're the ones often responsible for managing these systems, troubleshooting issues, training other staff.
It's a whole other skill set on top of everything else. So how do aspiring veterinary receptionists even get up to speed with all of this?
Well, a lot of it is on-the-job training, but our source material actually mentioned a great resource called,
RoleCatcher.
right, RoleCatcher. They
Yeah.
have a ton of information specifically for veterinary receptionists, like building those tech skills we were talking about.
Good to know. So you're constantly learning and adapting in this role. But let's be real for a second. It can't all be sunshine and puppy kisses, right?
Yeah.
What about the not so glamorous parts of the job?
You're right. There are definitely challenges.
Lay it on me. What are we talking about here?
Well, our source material touched on the emotional toll this job can take.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Dealing with sick animals, saying goodbye to furry family members. That must be incredibly hard.
It is. It takes a lot of empathy and resilience to support pet parents through those tough times.
Absolutely. And then there's also dealing with difficult situations, right? Like not every pet is going to be thrilled about being at the vet.
Oh, for sure. You might encounter some anxious or even aggressive animals, And then there's always the potential for, well, accidents.
Okay, yeah, accidents. Let's just say you've got to have a strong stomach for this job.
Definitely. And let's not forget about the human side of things. You're going to encounter all sorts of personalities as a veterinary receptionist.
Oh yeah, I bet you need the patience of a saint to deal with some of those stressed out pet parents.
Patience and some serious conflict resolution skills. You're dealing with people at their most vulnerable, so it's about staying calm, de-escalating tense situations, and finding solutions that work for everyone.
You're like a diplomat in a world of wagging tails and worried whispers. Speaking of navigating this world, where can this career path actually lead? Is it a front desk forever kind of role, or is there room to grow?
That's a great question. And actually, our source material highlighted some pretty interesting career progression pathways for veterinary receptionists.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are we talking about here?
Well, you usually start as an entry-level veterinary receptionist, right? You're mastering the basics, getting comfortable with the software.
Learn the ropes.
Yeah, exactly. And then as you gain experience and expertise, you can move into a mid-level role.
So what does that look like?
Yeah.
More responsibility.
Absolutely. You might take on more administrative tasks, like mentoring new staff, maybe handling more complex client inquiries, even things like managing inventory or billing.
So you're really starting to take on more of a leadership role.
Exactly. You're not just handling the day-to-day anymore. You're starting to see the bigger picture of how the practice operates.
And from there, you can even climb higher.
You bet. For those who are really ambitious, there's the senior level veterinary receptionist role.
Okay, I'm picturing like a corner office with a view of the dog park. What do they do at that level?
Well, it's less about the view and more about the vision. They're basically orchestrating the whole client experience.
Orchestrating.
Yeah, they're developing strategies, mentoring staff, even collaborating with the vets on improving clinic workflow and efficiency. It's a big picture kind of role.
So you can go from answering phones to shaping the entire direction of the practice. Yeah. That's amazing. But I imagine not everyone wants to be in a management position, right? Some people probably love the hands-on aspect of being at the front desk, interacting with the animals and their humans.
Oh, absolutely. And our sources made it clear that there's so much value in that. Every day is different. You're constantly learning, and you're building relationships with these animals and their families. It's a very rewarding experience.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
And honestly, the skills you develop as a veterinary receptionist organization, communication, grace under pressure, those are invaluable in any profession.
100%. You're learning how to stay calm in the face of, well, let's just say unpredictable situations.
And you're learning to wrangle cats, which is basically a superpower.
Right. But seriously, it's about finding fulfillment and making a real difference in the lives of animals and their owners.
And sometimes that difference can be life-saving, right?
Absolutely. Our research even highlighted a story about a veterinary receptionist who noticed a subtle change in a regular patient's behavior.
Oh, really? What happened?
Well, she knew this dog so well, and she just had a feeling something wasn't right. She told the vet, and it turns out the dog had a serious condition that would have gone unnoticed otherwise.
Wow, she was like an animal whisperer.
Right. She quite literally saved that dog's life just by being observant and trusting her instincts.
That's incredible. It really goes to show that even in a role that might seem small, you can have a huge impact.
Exactly. It's about being present, being attentive, and genuinely caring about the well-being of every furry or scaly or feathered friend who walks through the door.
Well said. So for anyone listening who's now thinking, hey, maybe being a veterinary receptionist, is my calling, what advice would you give them? Where do they even start?
I'd say first and foremost, tap into that passion for animals. Volunteer at a shelter, shadow a vet, just immerse yourself in that world.
Get some firsthand experience.
Yeah, exactly. And then start building those essential skills, communication, organization, and a knack for staying cool under pressure.
And for those ready to take the leap, RoleCatcher is a fantastic resource, right?
Absolutely. They've got everything from resume tips to interview prep specifically for aspiring veterinary receptionists. It's a great place to jumpstart your journey in this field.
Amazing. Well, there you have it, folks. It's clear that being a veterinary receptionist is so much more than meets the eye. It's a career that combines compassion, organization, and even a little bit of tech savviness, all while making a real difference in the lives of animals and their humans.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So, if you're looking for a career that's both rewarding and full of furry encounters, this might just be your calling. Be sure to check out RoleCatcher for more information, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of fascinating careers.